Oh, gotta make the video. Anyway, while it may appear that it's directed at one person or whatever because they just happen to be the first person, what we are doing is we are tending and pruning our space. Members, people that have input, this is amazing. This is what it's all about. That's what Adam wanted. He wants to have a space. He made it so that he could learn a little bit more about his fitness journey. I don't think he has aspirations of jumping on stage in a banana hammock anytime soon. I'm hoping he's going to be on a Zoom call with me. You're going to do that? We're right up there. See, he's a busy man. He's also a graphic artist, so that's why the space is so awesome. There's like custom art and graphics like all the time. Motivational stuff that you don't see anywhere else. It's awesome. So what we're doing is we're honing and fine-tuning the demographics that we wish to have on here as we grow. Growth rate at the start's always phenomenally fast. Ours was really like, whoa, it's great, because the feeling of the space was really good right from the beginning. And then as you get more and more people, then you have to start filtering, narrowing down the type of person, why they're there, right? So we'd wish people to participate as themselves. And I've already had all these things. I've written down half this stuff before, put it in audios. This is a big undertaking if we decide to keep doing this, right? Or just like say, you know what, just gonna go do something else, because it doesn't seem like people will appreciate the fact that, yeah, I used to be a bodybuilder. I know the whole industry from the bottom to the top, in both the gray area, the black market area, and the legit in front, working for $1 billion supplement company area as their transformation specialist, a public speaker, whatever. I've like given talks to like heads at GNC in friggin' Charlotte, North Carolina, and another city. I don't even remember. All I remember was like, holy Chipotle. Because the sales guy went with really cool. Ryan, man, he's like eating all the time. Gold's Gym, fucking World's Gym every day. Went to different gym to work out. It's friggin' awesome. So this isn't a bodybuilding focused space. Bodybuilding is competitive bodybuilding. This is for people that are getting into their fitness. Maybe they will go off into bodybuilding. Maybe they will take PEDs. Maybe they'll just go over to RX Muscle then. Want to learn about PEDs, have a discussion about that, run on over to RX Muscle or any of those, and you can jump around in that pig pen or whatever it is. I never go there. It has 18,000 members. I think it's been around for quite a bit longer than Savage Gains, right? Because we're not going for the bodybuilding demographic, right? It's great pictures. If you're into bodybuilding, you're posting your transformations, and you got clients because you're a trainer because of it, whatever. Awesome. That's what we want. Motivation. People talking about their real stories, giving people advice. Like, oh, I do this in my garage, and this is a really nice setup. And person's like, oh, really nice. I just asked a question. It was about how to set up a garage gym. Oh, the other guy helps out. That's the real general basis of it. Or we as like Savage Gains exec team, we're going to call it, or whatever. Savage Gains Headwaters, that's what we titled it on Slack. It's another whole collaboration software we're using. This is stuff we have to think about, because we want the maximum amount of people that are like the average, the mean of the population, right? And bodybuilding is not that. And how do I know that? I used to escort Jay Cutler around the Olympia. He came and trained with me at the golds that I go to. Legs, yeah. Did chest the next day at Muscle Tech headquarters because he was doing his photo shoot. I pick him up at the airport. My own car. So small, he's like, holy crap. Cars up here are small, eh? He was just laughing because I was like 250 almost at the time, and we could barely fit into my little Kia friggin' no, that was the truck. It was the Rio, right? Kia's a great car. So, I was talking to a guy today at the park, working at whatever. Looks like he does a bit of training. He's like, "Hey, do you know Branch Warren?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know Branch very well." And he goes, "What about Johnny Jackson?" I'm like, they're actually like best friends in real life, and they're a bunch of jokers. And I watched them row 220-pound dumbbells. Do I know about the Greg Kovac's guest pose at my first show? I partied with Dorian after the Arnolds in his private booth. I know middleweight Mr. Britain, same era as Dorian. He's a member on the site. Right? He has a hardcore gym. His bodybuilder's there, but he also has moms, pops, and everybody. That's what it's like here. Kind of want to be like Dennis's gym, actually. Yeah. Gonna have to talk to him about that. So what I'm getting at is, I've conversed with a number of people, and I actually really like them. I'm like, oh, I can already tell by their posts, he's a really nice guy, or whatever. But if the title of your business, which is peptides that you support, is your name, that's just a thing that we've already discussed and we've been making decisions on, and someone pops up. It's just the dice. I don't know this guy. And nobody in the bodybuilding world that I've ever met in real life has ever went away without giving me their name, number, and email. Said, "I can't wait to see you again." Because that's real life. And everybody typically, seemingly, apparently, on any space online currently, and there are scientific reasons and biological reasons for it, are in extra defense mode. And I'm not, because in all my conversations, I'm just sitting there like this. My pulse isn't going up, and I'm like, if I don't answer for 4 days, it's because I'm fasting from the internet. My health is more important than anything. So, that in mind, this is a fitness, health and wellness. You're going to see stuff on here about like freaking energy medicine. It's not proven by quantum molecular biology. U.S. military uses this stuff in the field. It's like, what more do you need? So, don't anyone take stuff personally. If you like the space, make another Facebook account that's for this space, or just change it to your real name, which is what it's going to have to be most likely, because we want people to know that they're dealing with people that are just there, same reasons, which is to improve their lifestyle. And if people are contacted and someone posts in your thing says, "Hey, how much do you charge for training?" or "What do you do?" Say, "Oh, this is what I do." That's not spamming or promoting, it's answering a question. We'll probably leave it there, unless it's a gear site, right? But if it does have things like T4-thyroxine, which is a hormone, in their list, it's not just a peptide site. Okay? I'm not talking to that person. This is to the general audience, and that's the only example that I have currently that's at the forefront, because stuff goes... It's already like 2 different threads. I don't even answer the other one. Why would I? It's right there, the first one. I don't get distracted. It's the anabolic mod, it's superior muscle. When I lived in the UK. No. Nobody came to visit me. They knew where Top Body Gym was. It's just different for me now because I'm not 250 anymore. That's all. So you post up a pic and you don't have any muscles, and all of a sudden it's like, people are like, it's like, anyway. Fresh kelp extract. Way more beneficial than any protein you're going to take, especially an isolate. Okay. If you actually knew how your mitochondrial host work in your body, which is, if you don't have them, you don't even have a body, then keep on taking your protein stuff. I'll be selling some protein. I'll be selling some protein probably on there that you can't buy anywhere else. Because my friend's the exclusive distributor. It's the original Torian Yates approved formula. It's called CNP, and no, it's not the CNP that goes to New Zealand and all the other stuff. Okay. A lot of benefits to being on here too. Supplement manufacturer. We have to get all this stuff going first though, but before you start a big huge engine off, you like tune everything up, make sure there's oil on it, and friggin' make sure your coal bunker's ready there so you can shovel coal in really fast when you need to get steam up and everything. And in the background, people that are actually working with us as part of the mods team will be rewarded because they're going to get to participate as we build stuff like our bag o creatine or whatever it is, and it's going to be a ridiculous price and it'll be the top quality and all the rest of the stuff. I was in supplement development. I used to be the CMO of a legit supplement company. It was called Veracity. Was it around long? No. My friend that funded it and who was the most hardcore freaking workout, powerlifter, bodybuilding, millionaire business owner at the same time, he passed away. Okay. So I didn't really feel like continuing. PVL's already copied it identically. It's called Dominate. Their one product. Veracity. Great product. It's probably exactly the same. It could be one of my friends. I don't know. I didn't even check. So anyway, have a great day. There's going to be lots of changes going on. Like lots. We're changing gears. We're shifting into like mid-range and we're getting ready to do a friggin' roll-on around people that are missing the point, perhaps, about what the purpose of this space is. And it's so that people can feel comfortable, get encouragement from other people that are in the same levels or higher levels. And I encourage everybody to exercise your mute button. Even if you want to mute me, go ahead. I'll still hear about it. Okay? I was at the University of Toronto yesterday, and I think I've already recruited about 2 or 3 people there. As soon as I get my official cards made up, I get a nice clean pair of pants on because I was in my fucking grubby around the park, do yoga on the ground pants, which is like the hue of tea. Does that have someone have some dirt under his fingernails? Like, be a fucking guest speaker there soon enough. So anyway, I'm out actively recruiting people every day, and I don't talk to guys that look like they bodybuild very much. Did at the beginning, and then I was like, this is the wrong demographic. This is not the main person type, archetype on Savage Goods. So, that being said, second gear, gonna do a roll on, get up with friggin' modern times, and yeah, like I didn't even watch the open class Mr. Olympia today. All I did was go on, see if Chris Bumstead won, went checked out his stuff, said awesome, because I knew he was gonna win, and that's it. I only watch the Olympia now. I don't care about the rest of it. It's not the bodybuilding that I know. You have to take a boatload of stuff to go on any professional stage. We've always seen this year an acceleration of people passing away, all from cardiac events of some type. 20 years I've been talking about this and just slowly watching from the sidelines and quiet. Now it's so obvious that now I'm like, okay, yeah. I have been deleted off of TMZ. Dallas McCarver passed. It's a big thread. You can tell there's a whole bunch of shills on it getting paid. I stated exactly what it was that caused everything. They were doing the whole, oh, there was an happening there. You don't know what you're talking about. And the autopsy came out and it was exactly that. And then I went back and all of a sudden all my stuff was gone. Bodybuilding industry's like it's one of the most like seedy entities that's ever existed. It's all that noise. It's all the boots from the RCMP on the stairs. True stories. I won't tell that one. I still probably get sued. Who knows? They're very litigious, that company. Just to sit on the second floor with the lawyer going over whether or not we could use digital photos yet instead of having to do digital and the film, which they always did so that you could show people that it was not doctored. There's been one muscle that has ever been doctored. It's all on film. You can actually check it. And then I figured out if you use raw photo format, you also can't mess around with it. You can change it, but then just like the blockchain, you see what the time was, what changed, and who did it. And you just go and you say, do not pass go, do not collect $200, and go through the job. That's it. Now it's modern times, everyone thinks it's all new, and people are just running around selling bathtub water mostly, all the things that they call clean gear. I've seen lots of it. It's so clean. Right? And the guy breaks out in a huge rash after like, I don't know, 2 years of using it. It's finally because this like dermal layer couldn't. It's too complicated to explain in this video. I need like a 3-hour video to explain why that happens. Anyway, yep. It's going to be a great day. So have a great day. It is Saturday. I'm in a nice relaxed mode. I didn't have to go and drink like 5 coffees and get all revved up to be able to get out of bed or anything like that. Just get out of bed. And that's it. Did lots of walking. Did a ton of stretching and rehab work. It's just for all the general members that watch these things. These videos aren't always going to be a one thing. I'm always thinking about Savage Gains positively and how I can influence it and how uncomfortable I actually feel to even like have discussions online other than giving people great scientifically based and 100% backed up information, because it all comes from one source, mitochondrial science. If you don't have mitochondria, you can't even fold or unfold a protein, not one, and your basic human physiologic functions are basically the folding and unfolding of proteins. Some of them so small you just can't see them. Right? So, welcome to the future of fitness, because it all went online and it hasn't even got started yet because there was people worried, like, oh, we better get our training certificates now. Fuck, we'll never even have a client. Like back in like 1993 or something. It's like, it's just starting to get into low gear right now. There's always going to be a fitness world because people want to be the best that they can be, and that's what I want Savage Gains members to be. They just plagiarize something, be the best. Oh, I think that's Nike, isn't it? So anyway, treat your other members with respect. Don't barge into somebody else's thread. It's like a conversation, you know. It's like online etiquette. There's a thread. Oh, look, I like that picture. Go up and look at that, or whatever it is. And they're having a discussion, and then someone just fly in and be like, "That's so fucking stupid, man. Like, what the..." They could have already talked on a direct message a couple times and whatever, and then they post it up because they're trying to get other people to participate. It's like what they do on Quora, right? You ask a question, and you go and answer your own question. It's encouraged. And then other people see your answer, like, oh, I don't agree with that, man. They write a answer. That's why Quora is so cool. There's a comment section, but it's a question and answer forum. And people can argue by writing another paper and saying, here's your point, here's mine, here's the... And by the end, 2 people have learned who's right, who's wrong, or whether both of them combine their stuff together, and then it's right. It's the most correct. It's the most deep truth for that thing or whatever it is. At least they're in their little thread, right? That's a discussion space. That's really what Facebook is all about. Connecting people. That was the original idea. I was on it when it was called The Facebook, and there was only like 5,000 people on it because I was already in school, Sheridan College. Yeah. Most guys still don't wash their hands after they take a dump. I got an A+ on that paper. COVID's here. Well, it's post-COVID now, it says on the TV, I guess. Whatever they say. Right? Guys still doing the same thing. It's like, if they know that the most viruses come out of your body when you take a dump. Yeah. Sociology. Study of human beings. Yeah. It's my most interesting pastime. I'm a social scientist. I'm social. And I'm a STEM scientist, which means I'm in the STEM field. The science end, the stuff that you say, we either don't know that yet, or that's wrong because this stack of stuff that's peer reviewed is 10 times the mass of that one. Go burn that shit. And there it is. There's no debate about stuff. But when you can actually take something that you have found in the STEM sciences that's so STEM, it's like root right in there, that affects every single thing that a person does when they're striving for their fitness goals. And in the past, before you knew this, you would have given different advice to people, family members, your loved ones, and now you don't. You give them completely different advice that people haven't heard. Because I'm what's known as an outlier. It's a group of people that are always just somehow trying out all the new shit. And other people don't even know about it yet. Right? It's like Dr. Cruz being Dave Asprey. Dave Asprey's a biohacker. Guy's fucking programmed some bullshit from Silicon Valley that had a kumbaya moment because he got really fucking sick in his shitty environment of Silicon Valley. It's like, holy shit. Comes back. Now he's a biohacker. Well, he was already loaded before, okay? All of a sudden, he's wearing the glasses. Orange glasses, red glasses, these glasses. He didn't come up with that, Dr. Cruz did. But it wasn't Dave that invited Dr. Cruz to the next one at the Price Weston Food Forward. This is like, we're talking like big industry, not the bodybuilding industry. We're talking like $1 trillion companies. Okay? Bodybuilding, fitness, and figure and all of it put together is like a little tiny drop in a kiddie pool compared to this stuff. Okay? And I've already posted that second video. These are like university level lectures given to people that have that are highly educated in the food industry. Bodybuilding industry is just a little like thing that hangs off the food industry. Right? Food supplements. That's what they are. So those people, even though their business is food and selling stuff that will make you overweight and all kind of stuff, is they wanted to hear more because they're going, oh yeah, he's right. Guess we're only going to be able to do this for, and they're calculating how long, so they want more information. So they can do as many stupid pump and dump crazy whatever stuff they do with their hedge funds in the background that's attached to all the freaking prices of the food stuff that they're selling and blah 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 blah. I have to go and ask my cousin's husband, Kostya Krasov. He's from Siberia. He's like some big university down in the States. World Economic Analysis Meister. Right? This guy's like knows everything about the world economy. If anyone's going to, it's going to be someone like that type of a brain structure. It's like made for that kind of stuff. So I'm hoping that people like my friend Jennifer Van Barnsveld will come on and just post a few of her videos. She's the one that told me about Quora. I'd signed up on it, forgot all about it. And I said, Coach JVD just followed you on Quora in my Gmail. So I was like, what's Quora? Well, almost 3 million views later, I have to still thank her, right? It's part of my therapy. Come off testosterone. All dopamine levels drop to the basement. Dorian went through this. It's not on his common YouTube videos. It's on London Real, and you have to go through all the outtakes and stuff because he did talks afterwards for anybody that had ever taken anabolics from testosterone. So there's maybe like 10 tabs of D-ball. This young man that lives in the place where I am here, he took a really heavy dosage cycle based on trenbolone and some other stuff, and for the first time he found himself at a place like this with depression and on medication. Now I know why. It's all brand new. I've learned it over the last 5 years. It's like CECs. I did it with a neurosurgeon that's got 2 other residencies and went to university when he was 16. It's nice. So again, it's stuff that other people don't know. Your cousin's uncle's brother is a personal trainer, or the friggin' like CBBF champion of the world in the X division or whatever. They don't even know what a mitochondria is, half of them. And even if they did, they don't know how it functions, what it is, what it does, anything. Totally different genome. It's not even human, it's nothing. We made, before we were in humans, we already made the deal. They lived in our blood. Then they decided to get more cozy and move into our cells, and they communicate with our cells with free radicals. Imagine I already had these stuff before I even knew these, years and years, and I'm like, I think you could probably take way too much free radicals. If there's inflammation, it's there to do something. Go tell your body there's something wrong. I feel there's like fire hose at all. There's like nothing going on. Body just all starts to relax. It's like, oh, there's nothing going on. It's great. It stops producing energy. It's like, whole mitochondrial freaking force just shuts off. It's like, holy crap, I wonder why I feel so. I should have a. I should get a monster. How come this doesn't work anymore? I'm watching it out in front of my eyes because, like, Dr. Cruz, that's his scientific quote. What Eckhart Tolle says in his spiritual quotes, he's like, forgive them for they are unconscious. Dr. Cruz goes, forgive them, they're at 43.6% heteroplasmy and at a HSCRP of on fire. He's done these tests on like fitness gurus, shredded up, 6-pack abs, dead, pike position for 30 minutes hanging off a rope, and so inflamed. Basically, Dr. Cruz said to him, you don't get a firehouse out on that with your behaviors, you're not going to be around for many more years, let alone a decade, kind of stuff. Okay, so don't judge the book by the cover at all. Especially when you see bodybuilders, especially a high-level competitive bodybuilder, because they are right now the most highly accelerated version of what's going to happen to a lot of people because of our technologies, one of which you're staring at if you're watching this video, and it actually gives you type 1 diabetes, depending on your own epigenetic milieu.
You should never have to tell an overnight guest to get home that they should wear something in bed.
Right, you go check in them, right? Hey, you guys want some water? What do you get? Blankets? You got, oh, it's your way. Maybe you put some pajamas on.
In the morning.
As an early adopter of theories, ideas, anything, I had one of the first iPhones. It's great. I use an Android now. I don't like doing the same thing all the time. It's a good way to exercise your neuroplasticity. It is. Read that in the book. That's the only part I remembered. Learning a new software system is great. It's one of the best things you can ever do for neuroplasticity. But if you don't know about this stuff now, because that was years ago, mitochondrial science is the most modern. It's been hacked on by like hundreds of thousands of people now because Dr. Cruz has a huge database. And it's different now. Okay? You're very rarely going to see me doing that. Me take my glass off and look at it. I want you to see my eyeballs. Because I'm serious about this stuff. I'm a happy-go-lucky guy. I really am. But about this stuff, I'm not. I am very serious. Because if you know stuff that other people don't, and you fail to pass it on, and it's like pivotal, as in, this is like, we're talking like, will the human race survive level of people need to learn this stuff. Not, will it make my left pectoral bigger than the right one if I wear those funny glasses? Kind of stuff. Okay? This is why comedy, I think, is starting to have a resurgence, and people are starting to laugh at stuff that used to make them uncomfortable because they're starting to get it. I made a quote in my first Quora profile. It said, if you're comfortable as a scientist, you're not doing your job.
A few seconds left on the clock. 3 to win. Will he make it?
I'd rather be making a video like, which I will if even one person takes an interest enough to go and look at and see that there's only 6 principles that Dr. Cruz teaches. And they don't have anything to do with supplements. Okay? They don't have anything to do with how fancy your gym membership is, or how big your 18s are on your Escalade, or you're going down there shooting a try. Even though if you stop taking juice, that tricep would wither up and go away in about 35 days because you've only just started to lay down the actual like hardcore framework of a final finished muscle product that's going to stay around for any minimal amount of time. And even that doesn't stay around. So anyone that's telling you that it does is on replacement therapy. And I know this because I'm probably one of the only people to ever do it. And it's documented upside down, left, right, and sideways. Picture, measurements, freaking blood work, freaking EKG, freaking 3 years of copious doctor hand type, because my friend's a freaking doctor, and he specialized in actually sports medicine, but he ended up helping people in the geriatrics. So it's a really cool combo. I was his personal trainer when I was 17, and he had his first medical practice going. I did his diets, and I taught him about nutrition, because doctors only get 2 hours of nutrition lecture format, and it goes because the sound of the person cracking the whip over top of the RX thing, which is, I've met people that were brand new doctors, and I was all excited to go and meet them, friends of my wife from high school. And he said, sorry man, I can't do any blood work for your clients, because they come around and check to see how much of that stuff I sold, and that, if I don't, and I'm not putting in prescriptions for it, they'll pull my license. And he only told me that because he wasn't in practice yet and didn't have anything to lose yet. Okay? There's tons of physicists and stuff like that that are still in their labs doing classical physics stuff and poo-pooing all this other stuff. And, oh, that's all spiritual, really stuff. And as soon as they retire, it's happening in droves now. They make sure their house is there. Oh yeah, pension's there. All right, now let's get into that stuff that water has memory and all that double. I've been checking that out in the basement where no one can see me. It's just for like 10 minutes and then I run away. So I don't want to know too much because I might start talking about it at work. I've only got 6 months left, and I've been working at this for 40 years. I only heard about it like 5 years ago. I was just like, ah. And that's what people are doing. Many of them. Okay? There's about to be a huge wave of people retiring from the medical community. Okay? And all of a sudden, they're not going to be influenced by their paycheck or by their boss who's doing manipulative behavior, okay, to get them to toe the line because he wants his bottom line increased. And with doctors and stuff, it's as simple as if you put a respirator machine, a new one in the hospital, and then you say, it's not getting used, your hospital's going to get the rating of it's going, well, there's a huge surplus of breathing apparatus machines, okay? Ventilators. Here in Ontario, Canada, one of the orderlies wouldn't take the shot and was laid off. And then he started posting on Facebook all the stuff that he was saving up to save just in case that happened. They had an overflow tent built outside, so that people could have beds outside because the hospital was so busy, right? he had to go and like ask people to sit out there that were in rooms that because the majority of the hospital was being empty, and he at one point only got 16 people to go and sit out there for one afternoon, just so that it would, hopefully the public would notice that there was somebody in there. I've been to the emergency at the biggest hospital in downtown Toronto, and in the peak of COVID mania. I look over at the security guy, I'm like, yo dude, man, I'm falling over here. I'm so tired now. Not even any coffee? He's like, no. He's like, no, it's just St. Mike's, right? Yeah. Like my brother used to work. I'm like, dude, my brother used to work at the bank right there in Scotia. You know, where they rent it off of CIBC. They do. One bank rents, the other one's built it. Hello, McFly. It's all intertwined, folks. That's life. Savage Games World is not separate from your work life, because if you go home stewing about some decision that you thought that we made and it was actually Facebook that booted somebody, you should see all this stuff. Certain things that we have no control over. I gotta go into this because I just remembered it's more important. Certain things that we have no control over, but called Facebook rules, right? When we go in our thing in the back office and it says, check the good standing of your group, is what the word, that section is in the filter for the database. And there's like 5 posts flagged from one person by Facebook. We can see the person that was flagged most of the time by the time we go and look at it, because we've got better things to do currently. We could see it, but only for like a date, whatever. They just show us to be courteous to let us know what's happening. But then you read in the fine print, and those things, there's little things to teach you what they're doing. Savage Games goes down in the Facebook and search rankings when there's douchebags on the group. And we have nothing to do with it. So what we're doing right now is cleaning up the act so they won't keep getting those messages. Because if you get too many of them, they will then shut you down. So you see why we're doing stuff, folks? It's not because we're like, look at that guy, he's got his company in here, and we really don't want to make any money. I wish you the best. I'm going to be trying some peptides, but they're not going to be SARMs and whatever, and I'm going to probably have Dr. Connors on because he's got thousands of people's blood work to show. That's the kind of people we want on. Okay? If it was a bodybuilding site, I'd call up all my bodybuilding friends, which are pros, top amateurs, freaks. Like, my last bodybuilding client is like heavyweight Mr. fucking Canada. Not this year, whatever. It's like years ago now. He's got his own clothing line. It's awesome. Kip Jong. Machine mode apparel. You want to talk machine mode? What? This is like a long-term commitment by a small group of people that were like, holy crap, you know, it was unexpected, the growth and how popular the site is and how great the majority is. And now we have to, like I said, fine-tune all the rest of it and get our proper demographic, set the tone for everything. Do we care if you talk about stuff and whatever? No, but if it turns into a mudslinging match about whether someone thinks that like nandrolone decanoate is better than Deca, right? Then we might even just go, okay, we're really going to do that thing that he first asked me what he wanted me to do, and then we saw how much work it would be, and we'll create the Savage Games hardcore space, and then everybody can just go over there and talk about whatever they want, right? And we won't even be associated with it anymore, and have an awesome time. Advertise everything that you want. Take all the juice you want and then sell the young ones the freaking peptides that you're not taking. Okay? I was a real international steroid dealer. Like suitcases of Sustanon rammed in, like 90 kilos each on an airplane. Okay? $20 years ago, statute of limitation for everything but murder all over the world is 15 years. I can talk about anything I want. I wasn't necessarily even doing anything illegal. Where I was, I don't care. It supported their economy. Portugal, which I love. Gosto muito do país de Portugal. So a little more about me, just in case anyone's still watching at the 40-minute mark. I'm like Joe Rogan, except I don't need the health guy. Okay? I don't need any health guests. Because I only talk about broad things to do with health, like 6 practices that will immediately make you healthier, and nobody does. They say they do. But if they end up knowing me, they also know that they don't talk to me anymore. And they're the ones that oppose me. Why? Because I'm the guy, if I got you ready for a show and you weren't ready, I'll be like, pick another show. Because my reputation is the one that online, because I'm your coach and you haven't been doing what I told you. And I know because you already told me and you forgot. And I got it all written down and they walk me through it and they go, yeah. I'm like, you didn't remember when you said that, did you? And I could tell you didn't even remember saying it. You were all, fluffled about whatever, and it just came out unconsciously. This is it, right? Like, I have the ability to look at a couple. I demonstrated this in public yesterday at a restaurant burger bar. A couple was outside. They were from Toronto, but new to Toronto, and they were from Panama originally. Spoke Spanish, I speak Portuguese. Started talking. He might be watching this video right now. I said, you got like a really, really awesome chance of having a really, really long relationship as long as you don't change anything from this point. Like, so how do you? And I explained to him, like, it's been proven time and time again, multiple different times, double blind, that if the properly trained person that knows about body language and micro expressions and stuff watches 2 people have a conversation about anything to do with anything in their life, including like what kind of dog kibble they're gonna buy, within 3 minutes of watching the footage afterwards, or if you're having a conversation with somebody that you've already been talking to for half an hour about lots of stuff, and they're asking you questions and back and forth and that, and they're asking you more questions, right? This is what I do every day, folks. I am interviewing people every day, between like 20 and 50 people, depending where I am. It's got to be the right age, the right demographic, for whatever set of questions I'm asking. And after you've done it for a long time, you don't need to write it down on a piece of paper. You do this stuff. You're recording audios. You're getting interviews with people. You're rolling around U of T looking for the kinesiology professor. So I'm sitting outside the cafe on the way to U of T. Had to get a little caffeine boost. I got my Lakers hoodie on. The only used looking piece of clothing I had on was my jeans, which I love. Okay? I like doing yoga stretches and stuff to mine, and I think, they just looked at if I took a nice wire brush to them, you wouldn't even be able to tell. But anyway, I was sitting there, talked to a few people, held someone's dog. They gave me the leash. It's like, hey, because I train dogs and stuff. People know me in the area, like all over downtown core. The whole downtown core may not know my name, but they fucking know. Hey, there's that guy. And a lot of them have talked to me, gotten good advice. Anyway, I'm getting off track. I can't do that because then the way my brain works, I won't be able to remember what I was talking about because I was going down something that was good that I want to talk about, like people that you talk to, friends that you've developed over the years. And it's like you wave at TTC driver, whatever, and he gives you a triple ding, and people look and go, "Why'd that happen?" It's like because of like his cousin's uncle's aunt's brother's toenail was falling off or something like that, and I told him about like colloidal silver or something, and the toenail grew back or whatever. I got a billion stories. Had a guy in the park laughing so hard today, he almost turned into Jello, right? We knew each other, as in to see each other around our neighborhood, which is a very popular place in Toronto, especially for tourists to come. This is the first time we actually talked together, just one-on-one, sitting on a bench while our other friends were drinking some vodka. I do outreach, street outreach. Girl came, she was rather drunk, I know who she is. I've done some healing sessions on her, this is part of it. She was actually way better. But she had a big, huge bottle of vodka, and I don't particularly like alcohol that much. I utilized it to medicate myself from going back to some really potent stuff that I haven't taken for a long time, since the day I said I wouldn't. That's over 12 years ago. Never looked at it again. Dorian hasn't looked at it either. Neither has a few of my other friends. It's part of the bodybuilding community. Anyway, he's probably going to be on Savage Gains. We're probably going to the comedy club on Thursday. He said he paid $20 to get in, get another person's ticket, because I'm going to be doing my second stand-up routine. It's going to be great. And the reason we got onto it is because that guy was laughing so hard on the bench. At certain points, he would get up and like run away laughing and come back because he was laughing so hard. You know, you got to double over and do that. And all I was doing was talking. I was sitting there on the bench, kind of like I am now, talking just like this, but I'm saying funny shit. It wasn't I wasn't having to be in my serious mode and like hate that shit. It's like I'm a child and youth mentor. My brother runs Trails Youth Initiative. He's the operations manager. It's funded by Trillium and Scotiabank and TD. And if you haven't heard any of these, your head's under a rock. Scotiabank's all the way down to freaking like Bermuda. It's everywhere. They have a deal with Bank of America. I could take my Tangerine card, go down to Bank of America and pull out a $20 bill or whatever. No charge on either end. That's Scotia. They own Tangerine. It's their new one. They're actually now a tech company. I know a lot of stuff about a lot of things, and not just little skim either. Okay? So, I hope that in, say, 10 years, people will be able to come to this space and go, wow, the people on this space are different. They're like, they all sound different. Like, they don't infight. There's no, like, shit emojis flying around and all this stuff. And it's actually a biological truth that would happen if people began to practice even just a few simple things like putting on some rose-colored glasses. Notice they're not mirror glasses, and it's actually the whole thing is the same color even if you cut it in half, the lens. Purple lenses are better for this time of the day for improving your mitochondrial efficiency. Okay? Later on, I'll switch to the friggin' red ones. Because then it's nighttime and you only want red light. You want that, but that's the most acceptable form of light to hit your retina, which then goes to your suprachiasmatic nucleus, which is at the end of like your eyeball chain, because your eye is an extension of your brain. It's hanging on the outside of your head. That's why Dr. Cruz in his thing said, does obesity begin in the eye? And at the end, the answer was definitively yes. And it does not begin in the kitchen or on your dinner plate unless you're in a shitty fake light environment, which is a brand new phenomenon. And you're holding the screen in your hand, or you're staring at a screen of some kind. Now I'm going to go through all the other things I got to do because there's like 500 hands already going, bite! Because I've heard every